Their national flag, with at least 18 changes only throughout the 20th century, have the most variations in the entire modern world. This is Afghanistan, a country landlocked and located between the cultural borders of Central Asia, South Asia and China with a very rich history. That history has its origin way back in the past, starting in the flourishing Bronze Age and the Oxus River civilization, Indus Valley civilization periods among others, and for thousands of years they have lived through a nomadic, non-centralized form of administration with different kingdoms and rulers come and go. The first time that a flag was flown in what we consider to be modern Afghanistan was in 1709 with the establishment of the Hotak Empire with an all-black emblem until 1738 when they were occupied by the Sharlis for the next 9 years. It was during the Durrani Empire in 1747 when they had a new national ensign, this time using a horizontal triband pattern with a dark shade of green in the top and bottom sections and white in the middle part, and lived for almost 100 years until the instauration of the Emirate of Afghanistan in 1842, where they didn't follow a national emblem for almost 4 decades until 1880. Also, this period was characterized by the conflict of interest between Russian and British Empire, or commonly known as the Great Game. In 1980, Abdurrahman Khan came into power as the Emir of Afghanistan, when the main outcome of his leadership was the instauration of the buffer zone between the Russians and the British. The demarcation of the modern southern border with British India and subsequently current-day Pakistan, and the creation of the British protectorate status of Afghanistan. They used a monochromatic back flag throughout this time. In 1901, Habibullah Khan, Abdullah Song, added a seal of what is the precursor of the modern-day national emblem, containing a mosque, 2 flags, 2 cannons and 2 swords surrounded by 2 sheaves of wheat. Right after the Third Anglo-Afghan War, that confirmed Afghanistan's independence from British rule, a new flag was created under King Amanullah that kept the black colour in the background and replaces the sheaves of wheat with an octogram of ruble hips. This symbol can be seen in a series of emblems and places in the Islamic world, for example, the design of the Petronas Towers in Malaysia and the footprint of some mosques and other religious buildings in the Islamic faith. In 1926, King Amanullah replaced the octogram by sheaves of wheat again and modified the design of the mosque. This design will be used as a template for future flags. 2 years later, there's a third design flown under the rule of King Amanullah. This one has 3 horizontal bands with the black, green and red colors, allegedly deeply inspired by the Weimar-era German flag when he was visiting Europe in 1928. This is the first time that the Afghan flag has the same color combination as the modern-day design. You would think that it was the last time that we speak about the relationship between King Amanullah and the flag, but you are wrong. There's a 4th version of the flag during his leadership, and it's the first time we see a 3 vertical stripe pattern, the same pattern that will be observed in later designs until today. It maintains the 3 base colors and changes the octagram to a seal that has a snow mountain, a rising sun and a red star surrounded by sheaves of wheat. In the lower part it reads God and Muhammad. There's also another variant that uses a more predominant sun, similar to the Japanese rising sun flag, centered with longer rays. The star color changes from red to yellow. We cannot talk about the Afghan flag without discussing what happened in 1929, where there weren't just 1, nor 2, nor 3, but 8 variations of the national ensign because of an ongoing civil war in the country. Amanullah had to flee Kabul because of the imminent arrival of his foe, Habibullah Khan, and his army to the capital. And then he and his wife escaped the city in their car and were chased by Khalakani's horses. At the end, they could survive the chase and had to go to exile. Amanullah died in Italy in 1960. Before running away from Kabul, Amanullah abdicates in favor of his brother Inayatullah Khan, whom for a whopping 3 days became King of Afghanistan and reportedly flew this flag during his kingship for an also whopping 72 hours. The very same flag as the first one flown during his brother's rule. At the beginning of the year, they changed the seal to the octagram depicted in Amanullah's first flag. This seal maintains the black background but is thinned to adjust it just inside the central band. Once Inayatullah was dethroned, a flag with 3 vertical bands with a red, black, white configuration was raised during the short-lived rule of Habibullah Khan. During the same time, A similar flag was also flown in the city of Herat while the rebellion of the Tajiks in the region of Kohistan was taking place. This one has a crescent moon and the red and black colors from the Kalakanis version are interchanged. In the city of Jalalabad, there was a transitional flag during the rival governments of Ali Hatman Khan. It uses 4 horizontal stripes with a red-green configuration and the same octagram from the 1901 flag in the center. Nadir Khan overthrew Kalakani, marking the end of the Civil War, with a black-red-green tricolored vertical band configuration with the thinner octagram seal taken for Amanullah's first flag became the official banner until 1930. In that year, a second flag was designed, this time maintaining the tri-band configuration but changing the seal by enlarging it, also removing the octagram, bringing back the 1926 mosque design and added the year 1348 of the Islamic calendar or 1929 AD of the Gregorian calendar, marking the beginning of Nadir Shah's dynasty, and finally the word Afghanistan, Pashto, in the lower part of the seal. This flag would last for 43 years. After his son Zahir Shah was dethroned in 1973, the new Republic of Afghanistan kept the same flag but removed the year 1348 from the seal. 1 year later, the new authorities raised a second flag where the same colors were used. The new seal, located in the canton outlined in brown, had a golden eagle with its wings spread, a minbar and sun rays over the eagle's head, all of this surrounded by 2 sheaves of wheat. The Pashto inscription of the Republic of Afghanistan and the Islamic calendar year of 1352 were also put in the seal. After a coup in April 1978, the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan was established as a communist state. For almost 6 months, the same flag flown in the Republic was kept, but the seal was removed. After that, a completely new design using a monochromatic red flag with a seal in the canton was put into place. This seal contains the word Khalq, meaning the people, which was the party that overthrew the government in 1973, with a yellow star at the top symbolizing the main 5 ethnic groups of the nation, surrounded by 2 commonly used sheaves of wheat with the inscription Saur Revolution 3057 and the full name of the state. During the Soviet invasion 1980, a new faction took power and they flew the flags of the People's Democratic Party, with a cogwheel and an ear of wheat in the canton representing the industry and agriculture respectively, and heavily influenced by the Soviet Union. Although it is questioned its legitimacy due to the rejection by the Afghans because it didn't feature the green color, deeply entrenched in the Arab world. The previous flag has the same problem as well. Under a new leadership, the black-red-green configuration was brought back, and the seal was subject to changes regarding the subtraction of the Pashto inscriptions and changing the color of the star from yellow to red, maintaining the sheaves of wheat and inserting objects from previous design such as the rising sun, the cold plate of minbar, the cogwheel and the ribbon surrounding the sheaves of wheat. Finally, adding a green field behind the culprit and book below it. It was in 1987, after a return of the Republic of Afghanistan, when a new version came in, with the same background and a new seal, moving the cogwheel to the bottom and recoloring it to blue, getting rid of the book and the star, and the field was curved, symbolizing the horizon. 5 years later, the Islamic State of Afghanistan came into power, and they flew a new red-white-black horizontal tribal flag, with inscription God is Great written in white in the top stripe and the Shahada written in black in the center stripe. Another provisional version was used, this one with the black and green stripes interchanged and no writing on it. It would only last for 7 months until a change was introduced under a new leadership, using the same pattern in the background, erasing the God is Great inscription and moving the Shahada to the emblem. This new ensign also contains the same emblem from the monarchy and adds 2 swords representing the Mujahideen's victory, the year of independence 1298 of the Islamic calendar, and the full name of the country, the Islamic State of Afghanistan. In 1996, the Taliban took control of Kabul, creating the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan with no international recognition. The recognized former government was forced to move to the northern part of the country, naming themselves the Northern Alliance. So now we are in a situation where there's one officially recognized flag and there's another for the de facto Taliban regime. The former utilized a single white monochrome banner for an entire year, where at the end of 1997, They added the Shahada written in black with Zulu script in the center of the flag. Another version with a green inscription has been seen during this period. After the September 2001 New York City terrorist attack, an international coalition helped the Northern Alliance to depose the Taliban regime shortly afterwards, and the 1992 design was back with the addition of the Shahada written in blue in the middle stripe. A few months later, the traditional black, red, green vertical stripes were back, and the emblem was modified by taking the swords away from it. In the middle of 2002, a new flag was adopted by changing the coat of arms to gold instead of white, although it was also accepted the usage of the white variant. 2 years later, some small changes were adopted. The inscription Islamic State of Afghanistan was replaced with Afghanistan, and a new flagration was introduced, from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3. In 2013, it was adopted the final version prior to the Taliban takeover in 2021. This version is used nowadays by the government in exile and is recognized by the international community as the official ensign. One of the biggest changes was increasing of the size of the seal, being wider than the red bar compared with the previous version. According to the 2004 constitution and official data, the flag of Afghanistan shall be made up of 3 equal parts, with black, red and green colors juxtaposed from left to right vertically, with black representing the troubled past, red for the blood shed in the fight for the independence, and green for religion and prosperity. The width of every color shall be half of its length, and at the center of which the national insignia shall be located. Even though it is not officially confirmed, the insignia located in the center it is inscribed in a square with a side of 1.5 times the width of the color of the flag. But this fact is not confirmed, so a lot of international organizations keep using different sizes and designs for the coat of arms. The updated and most officially recognized coat of arms consists in a mosque in the middle, surrounded by 2 sheaves of wheat. The mosque has 2 Afghan flags attached to it, making it one of the few countries that has this type of flagception in either state of silver flag. Inside the mosque, there is a minhaf facing Mecca and a minbar or pulpit. It is believed that the design of this mosque is based in this one, located in Mazar-i-Sharif. Finally, this flag is just one of 6 national flags that feature a building in its design. It has written from top to bottom the Shahada, inscribed and superseding the rays of a rising sun. The Islamic year 1298, which represents the year where they gained independence from British influence, and the word Afghanistan in Pashto. There is, though, a big elephant in the room left to be discussed, which is the de facto government of the Taliban power at the time of editing this video, but it has no international recognition at the moment. The flag used by this government is the Taliban flag, which has a white monochrome background with the Shahada written Tulu script in black in the center, and it has a ratio of 1 to 2. Another version of this flag has inscribed the name of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan under the Shahada. All the variations have been observed in different parts of the country. The coat of arms has also been modified. In the blazon there are a minraf and a minbar supporting the Quran and crowned by the sun, 2 swords from the 90s and a cogwheel accompanying the sheaves of wheat that supports this. It has written the Shahada in both Arabic and Pashto, the date 15 Muharram 1415, and inside of the cogwheel the name Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. History is still being written as we speak, and we can only wait for what the future will depart. This is Stuff of Flags from Stuff of Life. Thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye.